Hi everyone. So, just wanted to check in. I haven't made a video in a while, and that's because I ran out of data. And also, I don't know, maybe I'm getting bored of this too. I'm not sure. It's just, there's kind of a lot going on at work, boring stuff. I don't have much of a life. There's also not much else to say or do. I mean, I could read more stuff, but I don't think anyone really cares to actually listen to me read and practice elocution. The truth is, I suck at enunciating, and because of that, I really do need to practice reading aloud. Um, I'm known for slurring my words. This is a fact. Um, so I'm sorry. That's why I do the elocution practice. I know no one wants to watch that though. There are subjects I like to talk about every now and then. There are things like politics. I love talking politics. I love talking about transgender issues or things like the culture war, that things to that nature. The controversial shit, the stuff that no one really wants to talk about, at least outside of good company that they can trust, right? That's the kind of conversation I like to have because I think there's necessary dialogue that just isn't taking place, and well, a lot of it is, but maybe some people don't know where to look, right? For example, how many people know who Dave Rubin is, or know who Ben Shapiro is? I mean, okay, so Ben Shapiro is conservative, but he still tries to bridge the gap. He's invited AOC many times to chat on his show. Um, Dave Rubin is one of those people that is really good with that. There are other people that are trying to have dialogue. For example, you hear like Jordan Peterson, who is going to be debating Zizek, I believe, who's a contemporary philosopher. I think he's going to be debating him about something to do with communism. Um, and then besides Peterson, you have the Weinsteins, whom I absolutely love, and Heather Haying, uh, married to Brett Weinstein. Um, there's also what's her name? Lindsay. I cannot remember her name, but basically, she was a Canadian student. I cannot remember her name to save my life. Is it Shepard? No, Lindsay Shepard, I think it is. Anyway, other people who I like to follow. Tim Pool, obviously. He's someone that I think has his finger on the pulse. There's also Lauren Chen, who works with The Blaze, I believe. Um, these are people who are either centrist or maybe conservative, but they're not super conservative, right? And these are people who are willing to have a conversation with people that they disagree with, as opposed to, well, it seems like the far left, or if you don't have to go too far left, but the far left, they just want to shut down dialogue completely if they think it's hate speech, or if they deem it as such, which is a really great cop out. Then they'll just say we don't have to listen to a word you say because you're evil. Everything that you have to say is toxic, so we don't need to give you a platform. I think that's a real problem, right? But on the rights, they're not doing that. They're not playing that game. And who knows? Maybe on the rights, maybe they wouldn't be so open to that. They wouldn't be so open to having dialogue if they were in cultural power. Because right now, the right doesn't have cultural power. Hold on. Sorry, my mother texted me. Okay. Anyway, so the right doesn't have cultural power right now, and so maybe that's why they're willing to lend, like, reach out with an olive branch. Um, maybe that they have everything to gain from that right now, but if they were in cultural power, if they were on top, then maybe they would play the sanctimonious, you know our shit doesn't stink. We don't need to condescend and allow you a platform like the left does. So who knows? All I know is that it's not a positive behavior. It all any side that tries to do it is polarizing. Um, what was it? Some Twitter account, I think it's the Age of Shitlords or something like that, posted something, and someone in the comments was talking about how it's time to stop trying to make peace with the left, and we need to prepare for war. And I'm thinking this is entirely wrong. You really do need to reach out and try to compromise. They're like, well, why should we compromise with people that's blah blah blah? I'm like, well, when you alienate them, you're only going to get the same effect that we're seeing from the left, which is when they alienate their own, or alienate the right, they just push people further right. And of course, if you're doing that on the right, it can put them further left. And that's not how you necessarily want things to go unless that's your end game, right? Anyway, so yeah, I'm going off on a tangent. I'm tired. Um, this video is just checking in. There are things I'd like to do, conversations I'd like to have. I really would like to have some conversations. I think, to be honest, I have the best conversations, or I come up with some of the best material, the best arguments when I'm in the middle of a conversation. Like some really good points come out where, like, I really start to flesh out an idea when I am debating or having a conversation, and um, I'm looking forward to. Oh my god, my mother won't stop texting me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having conversations with people, who can help me to maybe create more solid views. Basically, dialogue for me is a constructive process because it either helps me to clarify things. Mother, stop texting me. She does this text, text, text. It's gonna happen in another 10 seconds. I know it. Yeah, so either I learn something new and I revise what I didn't know, or I, you know, I end up reaffirming something I do know, but I come up with a better understanding of it, right? So yeah, that's definitely a healthy, constructive uh, mechanism or way to go about something. So yeah, I'm actually reaching out to a number of people trying to have conversations, especially about the transgender athletic issue. Um, I even consider maybe some of the solutions might not be easy, especially if they're deemed, say, racist. Like one point that occurred to me was that some of the genetic females who uh, are not allowed to race, or basically they've been called out for high testosterone. They tend to be black, and so if you bar women from racing because of their testosterone levels, right? Well, then you're potentially barring black women, and primarily black women. And so, basically, if you make it all about testosterone levels, then screw the whole transgender part. Now you've got race involved, and this makes it much more complicated. So it's one of those situations where if you use this standard, it not only affects the one side, but or one group, but it affects another. It's basically an intersectional mess. So, all right, I'm gonna stop wasting your time. Y'all have a good night. Bye bye.